Mogador in ranked. What is Mogador's strengths? It is stupidly fast, and it's an excellent gunboat with the reload booster. And these advantages can be leveraged in quickly dealing with enemy destroyers. And that's really one of the best ways of getting a quick advantage in a game, is dealing with enemy destroyers. That's literally what wins you matches. You kill enemy DDs, because if there's no carrier, that's almost always a significant advantage to your team. Are notifications off? No, they're not. Right, let's see. So in this situation, the enemy team, Alsace, Sovietsky Soyuz, Bismarck, Ibuki, Z46, Yugumo, Udaloy. I am by far the fastest ship on the server. I instantly noticed that I'm the fastest ship on the server, so I already popped the speed boost. Normally I mentioned that you want to save your speed boost for when you're actually engaging the enemy, or when you're forced to take evasive maneuvers, you're forced to deal with incoming shell fire. But because I am by a far margin, I am the fastest ship here. The only one who probably even comes close is Udaloy, but even he's going to be quite far off, and so I instantly popped the speed boost. There are multiple reasons for this. First of all, I can probably secure the ACAP before anyone can engage me. Second of all, if an enemy DD, considering the enemy team spawns here, if one of the fast enemy DDs are pushing into the objective, you see all this terrain here, it provides a line of sight. And this line of sight is important because you have poor concealment in the Mogador, 7.5, but you can use this line of sight to close the distance, and when enemy DD comes around the corner, you have potential to ambush. Turpits, you madman. Thank you for the 30. It's absolutely working. Thank you, my dude. So you have ambush potential thanks to the island color here. So this means that unlike in an open water situation, you will probably spot enemy destroyers at the same time as they spot you, because they have to come around the island to actually engage you. Now obviously I'd love to see some of my teammates actually push in behind me. For example, the Östergötland, I would love to see him be sailing behind me so he can support me better, instead of taking this super safe route when I'm already doing the scouting for the team. Still, they do ping some support for me, but once again, they're positioning poorly. They're going behind the island, so it's a bit unfortunate. So what I'm hoping for now is to get some sort of ambush on their DDs. They have 3 DDs. One, of course, went here, potentially even 2, but usually you have another DD going towards the A objective. My goal is to try to assassinate him as quickly as possible. So that's why my guns are already pre-aimed. I'm already launching preemptive torpedoes, because if he comes popping out around here, he might be smoking up. When I start fighting him, he might be turning in, whatever. The torpedoes are gonna be a potential problem for him to deal with. So we preemptively launch the torpedoes. Udaloy gets spotted, that's fine. I'm faster than the Udaloys, so I just start disengaging, and once again keeping my guns aimed, hoping to see a potential DD pop up. That is our goal at this point. Alsace pops up, so we see at least 3 ships coming this way. There might be more, we'll figure that out soon. And this is important. I get detected. It's highly unlikely that I'm being detected from here, because look at my speed. I'm doing 52 knots. A DD catching up to me from here, basically highly unlikely that it will happen. I'm too fast for this to be a situation. Now my team is too far away to really support me, but I'm fast enough that I'm not too worried about the incoming fire. But what this tells me is that whoever is spotting me must have come in from this angle. There is a DD up north on this part of the map here. So I already know that this is happening, so I just make sure I see that that's where he has to be, and I already turn my guns. I keep going full speed, because most of the time you actually don't want to acceleration juke the first volley in ranked when you're playing something like a Mogador, because the Mogador is so stupidly fast that most of the time people will underlead, and as I'm going towards island cover, the likelihood of them actually catching me is very low. So we dodge the shells just by going straight, and our guns are ready for this potential DD if he pushes too close. And I get detected, and that's exactly what happens. It's a Z46. He was exactly where we predicted, and now we have a general perspective of where all the enemy ships are. If my Östergötland was closer, if my team was closer, this would be a very easy kill, but now obviously I have to start angling away when thinking this fight, because there's a chance he might just go nose and smoke up, and there's a chance that the Ibuki and all of them might pour in a lot of shells on me, but this is still a fight I want to take. Because Z46 is a ship that I outtrade extremely easily. So, instantly pop reload booster, instantly start spamming HE. But I know with the team they're just shooting me, they're all ready to shoot me again, so I'm already angling quite steeply away, especially since he does go dark, since he's not even shooting his guns. That's why I'm turning away. If he was engaging me, I would probably be slowing it down and making sure I get the kill, but this guy doesn't even want to shoot me, which means he's just looking to disengage, and if I dive too deep trying to hunt this kill, I'm probably gonna get killed by all his teammates. I don't need to kill him on this run. Just doing a lot of damage is still a big advantage for my team, especially if I can conserve my own health. So we don't want to be too greedy. Still refusing to shoot, but I do get a permanent fire on him. Now he finally opens up, and this is very, very interesting because now there's a good chance of killing him. He damage cons, which makes me turn back to the full broadside. Note that I was about to turn away, but he damage cons that single fire. So now I turn full broadside again and I use all my guns on him, even if I don't have reload booster. The reason for this is, with no damage gun, any fires we get on him are gonna force him smoke and gonna really mess with him, and just gonna make his life incredibly difficult. And that's when I turn all my guns back on him, you can see that the chance of getting a fire is actually quite high. And we manage to score a fire, he's forced to smoke up, he's forced to turn away, but this time my team has had time to react, and we can see a fair bit of shells pouring in towards this guy that we set on fire. His health ticks low, and basically he's just forced to run for his life. So this is a pretty big advantage early on. We got, what, 11.6k on the Z46. We didn't overcommit. We lost 0 health in the trade. We're perfectly full HP. So this is a really good situation to be in. We just got our team a significant advantage. And the Östergötland can easily scout for them. They can easily get a lot of things done on this flank. Z46 stopped burning, 12,000 damage in on him during that engage. So he's basically got no health left at all. So now the question is, what do we want to do? We can't really go straight in there and hunt the Z46. He's smoked up, he might be running Hydro, and there's an Udaloy there, there's an Ibuki, there's a lot of firepower there. We're just going to throw away a bunch of ships, so you don't want to be too greedy. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make in rank, that they get too greedy. Ibuki, Udaloy both spotted. Udaloy is shooting. I'm tempted to open up on him, but this Alsace is a bit worrying, because this Alsace is potentially threatening to push straight through the side here and get a crossfire on our team. So this has to be stopped in some way, this crossfire. My goal is to take a line like this, which I can do because the DDs are zoned out, so there's no threat of them, where I can potentially YOLO the Alsace, get torps around the corner, various ways of zoning him out and either killing him if he tries to push in, or just landing torps on him if he tries to sit on that flank. Z46 gets spotted again. I instantly call target on him. Östergötland pushed up close enough to get vision of him. I call target while I shoot at him. I land some good damage. Azuma lands some good damage, and we pick up the first kill. So, very good start. Alsace also turns away, so he's no longer a threat on this flank either. I start taking some trades with the Udaloy, because he's really the last remaining DD on this flank, I think. The Udaloy is probably not here, he's probably with the Bismarck somewhere. So we're trying to get as much damage in on the most important targets, which is the DDs. At this point I'm thinking, well, this is looking actually really good. If these guys are disengaging, there's actually some opportunities here. This Sovietsky Soyuz, if he tries to push in too steep, I might get some preemptive torps. Torp range is only 8 kilometers, but if you look at the minimap, a simple way of checking if can your torpedoes reach a target that's pushing in. That white line is the direction that he's sailing. My white line is the direction where I'm aiming the torpedoes. As long as these two sections intersect, these two lines, as long as they intersect within your torpedo range circle, your torpedoes can reach him. So even if he's 9.2 kilometers away, just by looking at the intersecting lines, I can tell that my torpedoes will easily reach him because they're intersecting within the circle of my torpedo range. So I drop torpedoes, trying to make sure I don't turn too much while I do so, because the torpedo bug is still very much an issue. I turn around, drop the other set as well, and I start angling in to see if maybe I can find some further opportunities to farm the Alsace, farm the Ibuki, basically just scout for my team, zone for my team, so that they are perfectly safe. Udaloy pops up. I'm really tempted to engage him, but I don't want to spook the Sovietsky Soyuz. He's, however, full... No, that was an important check there. I wanted to see, can I shoot the Udaloy without giving up the game to the Sovietsky Soyuz that I'm on this flank? But I quickly switched to the torpedoes, and I noted that the Sovietsky Soyuz is full stopping. which means my torpedoes are gonna miss no matter what, which means that there is no downside in opening fire. The Sovietsky Soyuz is already dodging the torpedoes. I wait until he's just about to go behind the island and I open up, but something very important happens. Torpedo signals show up on the map here. You see this? Torpedo warning from the right. And C is being contested. So this Yugumo hasn't actually gone through the flank, the Yugumo has gone through the center. Kind of suicidal, kind of risky as hell, but he's managed to do it, and he's gotten into this camp. So the first reaction upon seeing torpedoes, the first reaction that you want to see when you see this torpedo warning, always turn in towards them. Before you even see where they're coming from, start turning in towards them. You don't want to hesitate, and that's exactly what I do. You see my rudder is instantly switching to the right. I'm looking to see where the gap is. Now it's important to note that I probably don't have enough speed to dodge these, but my speed boost is ready. So I activate the speed boost for that extra boost of acceleration, and thanks to that extra kick, basically it gives you a really fast boost of acceleration the second you activate it. And thanks to that really fast extra boost of acceleration while I'm turning hard right, I can kind of kick the stern of my ship around the torpedo, and the torpedo misses. So that's important to keep in mind. You can use it as an emergency dodging mechanic, but you need to be quick on using it when the torpedoes pop up. So, at this point, C, looking at the minimap, I'm thinking, well, we should be doing pretty okay. On this flank, that is. We have Pommern, Massachusetts, we have Östergötland, we have Azuma. The Sovietsky Soyuz is really the biggest threat on this flank, but in Östergötland, there's no way the enemy team can spot him. They don't have any tools to spot him, so he should be able to sit here and just drop torpedoes on the incoming push. He should be able to farm the Sovietsky Soyuz. Azuma should just be kiting away, spamming HE on him, and these two battleships, as long as they play chill, hell, the Pommern can potentially even just YOLO the Sovietsky Soyuz, because he's got island cover to use. So this flank should be super safe. Their forest is free, the Alsace is coming around, it's going to take a long time. So I need to go deal with this threat. I can't let the Yugumo hang around, come around in the flank, torp our team, go here, maybe chase these guys. No, I need to deal with the Yugumo, and I need to deal with the objective. So at this point I'm thinking, well, I have kind of won this flank for us. This is safe. We have cap control, their stealthy SDD on this flank is dead, and I know exactly where the Yugumo is. All I need is my team for not to do anything stupid, just sit there and farm them, and this is going to be a very, very easy win. However, my Sovietsky Soyuz is panic pinging for help on the right flank. And that's generally not a good sign, considering Sovietsky Soyuz plus Yugumo versus a lonely Bismarck should be the easiest fight in the world. Sovietsky Soyuz sits in the back and snipes or kites away while just farming him, and if the Bismarck tries to push, the torpedoes smash him. Bismarck secondaries does nothing to Sovietsky Soyuz armor and fast damage con, so we can't even burn him. So that should be an easy win, but somehow, in classic ranked fashion, my Sovietsky Soyuz actually gets himself killed by the Bismarck. So that's already a pretty significant problem when they're 2 versus 1, 2 tier 9 ships against a tier 8 ship, and they're struggling. So obviously I'm very much needed on this flank. I figured, well, they can't do too poorly on the other flank, they should be fine. The Yugumo opens up, I know exactly where he is. Now, it's tempting to open up at this point, already open up, but then he knows exactly where I am. Potentially he can reset me on the camp as well, and this Yugumo from this range shouldn't be able to do too much to our Yugumo. Yugumo firepower and shell ballistics aren't really that good. So while I'm tempted to shoot, I'm actually more interested in just closing the distance in the straightest line I can and securing the objective. Meanwhile, I look back, I'm kind of surprised, the Pommern somehow managed to get himself killed. So the flank that I thought that I had already won for our team, well, that flank is suddenly having issues, and the right flank that I thought that they had a good advantage on, well, that flank is also having issues. The Yugumo at least kills the Bismarck, but he actually almost loses all his health in the process. And of course, he's not running a survivability expert, because apparently having extra health on your DD isn't very important for ranked players. I don't know why. So at this point, I ping him to get back. Okay, the idea here is that this Yugumo, when I ping him to get back, is that he's just going to slow down. Yugumo has all the guns at the back of the ship. So if the Yugumo angles and waits for this Yugumo to close in, or just in fact starts using his back gun to shoot him, this guy will struggle to trade. The reason why he'll struggle to trade is because if he wants to use all 3 of his guns on a ship that's sailing away, he's going to have to sail sideways, which is going to slow him down, whereas the Yugumo can sail in straight lines while kiting away and farming him. This means that this Yugumo is stuck trying to hit a very small target that's trading with almost, 66% of his firepower, while I'm about to open up on him and engage him from the side. So when I say come back or fall back, I'm hoping the Yugumo will understand to just basically keep kiting, angle, and farm this Yugumo. But it's ranked, of course, so instead the Yugumo, who has 6,000 health and has used his smoke and is up against an 18,000 health enemy Yugumo, decides to turn fully around and go nosing, rushing into the Yugumo. And at this point I realize, oh god, this is a disaster, I have to open up, and I instantly start farming him. I popped reload booster, I try to help out as much as I can, but of course with the Yugumo closing the distance this quickly, he gets himself killed basically instantly. So the Yugumo dies, but I do in fact manage to secure the objective. And the Massachusetts manages to trade on the other side. So the game is still somewhat okay. We are even 4 versus 4. I'm pretty confident in my ability to hunt down this Yugumo. I've set him on fire. It's a perma-fire because I used this damage gun earlier. The problem, however, is looking on my team positions on the other side. The Östergötland is behind the Massachusetts. That's very much not the position you want him to be in. He should be here landing torps on this flank. My Massachusetts shouldn't be pushing in to begin with. He has no reason to do so, and he's pushing into 3 ships that are farming him. And my Azuma is too far away to land any sort of meaningful firepower because he's sitting way too far in the back. So this flank I already know is a disaster waiting to happen. So I need to hunt down this Yugumo. I need to hunt it down fast. I'm keeping in mind of where the smoke is going. I'm already turning my guns. You saw that smoke puff started blooming on this side. You saw that this smoke puff booms on this side. This means the Yugumo is doing some kind of maneuver towards this side. And I can't be wasting time going all the way around like this. I need to get up to this camp as soon as possible, so I already start turning my guns to the right side. Mogador Turtleverse is slow, so I'm preemptively turning my guns to the right side, because my plan is to engage around this. I zoom in. Why do I zoom in? This is actually pretty important. What I zoomed in to look at was the smoke puffs. Where are the smoke puffs forming? And the smoke puffs show that this DD is going around this way. So I'm predicting that this guy is going around up here, around the island, and then he's going to turn left because he realizes he can't keep kiting this way. It's a waste of time. He needs to get back to his team. So he's going to try to go back towards his team this way. So I turn my guns preemptively where I predict he will go and try to cut him off before he can get there. Because, as I said at the start, I'm the fastest ship on the server. My prediction turns out to be really good. Yugumo is exactly where I expect him to be. Note that he's still not shooting. This is a guy that shot me earlier. Priority target is showing 0. That means he's actually aiming his torpedoes on me. He's not shooting me. So I hit full stop to try to throw off his torpedo sets, making sure I pick up the kill. And as soon as I picked up the kill, I see his torpedoes I actually aimed right at me. He predicted my full stop. But I still have 8 seconds of speed boost remaining. So with the classic thing, as I said earlier, turn hard into the torpedoes. Full acceleration, turn hard into the torpedoes. And I once again managed to slip past his torpedo spread. At this point though, the other flank is having some serious issues. I've secured another DD kill for the team. Well, I only have one of the kills, but the Z46 earlier was basically thanks to the damage I did. The problem is, the Massachusetts that pushed in all alone into the enemy team has, unsurprisingly, gotten himself killed. And the Östergötland is now stuck alone, kind of defending the camp. This is fine though. At this point, the Östergötland, ideally, should look at the minimap, see, hey, we have a camp. I'm about to go secure the B camp. We're going to have a 2-cap advantage. All this team needs to do is kite towards their remaining objective, torpedoing and HE spamming on the way. But, once again, you got to remember, this is ranked. People don't do the smart thing. People don't do what you hope they would do. People don't do even what you might expect them to do. Instead, both the Östergötland and the Zuma, realizing that they are 2 versus 3 against ships that outgun them, decide that this is the time that they need to push in and rush them. So this is a huge problem. I'm trying to ping them, get back, reverse, get back. I'm trying to make them understand. We still have a 100-point buffer thanks to the cap advantage I took early on. I'm gonna have plenty of time to secure B. All they need to do is kite away and farm them, and this is a comfortable win for our team. Östergötland can just torp and kite, Azuma can just angle and kite. Like, they're gonna struggle to get any meaningful damage in on both of this. However, as the Jutland gets himself caught, by the looks of it, he looks on the minimap to be far too close to Dalsas, which means he's somehow managed to get himself spotted by a battleship that he's faster than. They double cap the objective, so they get it very fast. Still not a problem, but as the Jutland got himself spotted, gets himself killed, and I give them the sarcastic well done, because I'm not very impressed by my team at this point. I am somewhat frustrated by their inability to basically do anything right on any part of the map. So, at this point, I'm hoping at least the Azuma will back off. I have to secure this objective. There's still 8 minutes 40 remaining on this battle. So I have to secure this objective and hope that my Azuma will start kiting away and disengaging. He still has plenty of time to do so, but looking at his position on the minimap, I am very, very worried. I am very worried because he's heading right into them. Azuma doesn't even have torpedoes, unlike the Yoshino, and he's got plenty of health to play with, so there's no reason for him to be doing this. I'm pinging, please get back. Still perfectly winnable, still a cap advantage, still a point advantage. 2 versus 3, but I've overcome worse situations than this. But he's actually sailing around full broadside, and he gets another well done, because at this point I've come to the conclusion that if this game is going to be won, this will absolutely be a solo show. My team is not going to be helping me one bit with securing this game. Azuma keeps sailing around full broadside, and he's screwed up. At this point, what I'm looking at is not really what my Azuma is doing. I've already written him off. He's a dead ship. What's important is trying to get a vision of how much health do they have and where are they positioned. At this point, I'm really hoping the Udaloy will shoot, because getting vision of Udaloy's health pool will tell me a lot of what I need to do. My first impression is Ibuki has a lot of health. Alsace has a lot of health. Maybe the Udaloy has very little health, so I start turning my guns this way. The idea is, I know the Udaloy wants to push to sea. Alsace is probably going to waste time killing this Azuma. Maybe I can cut off the Udaloy, pick him up as a kill, and give myself a potential opening as a win. Because when you're in a situation like this, you want to look for the 1 versus 1s. Udaloy gets spotted, I turn my guns, and the Udaloy has 11.5k health. 11.5k health is too much health for me to burst down with his team surrounding him. Even with reload booster, he has smoke, he has heal, he has ways to disengage. This is basically going to be very, very hard to overcome. So at this point I decided, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to fight the Udaloy. He's basically right next to Dalsas, and they're kind of grouped up together. So the next hope is Ibuki. Potentially, can I ambush Ibuki? That is my hopes. However, Ibuki is smart. I was hoping he'd push towards me, but Ibuki is actually starting to turn away. This means I don't get the opportunity to YOLO torpedo him. I don't get the opportunity to kill him with AP here, because he's just completely disengaging the second he realizes that he's being spotted. So, at least this gives me some... I'm pretty confident in what the enemy team is going to do. The Udaloy is going to go for C. That is his best choice. It's the closest cap, and it's a wave to victory for them. We're still generating points. We're actually down on points, but the 2 caps that I've secured is clawing our points back towards equilibrium. It's 800 to 830. The enemy team is still in the lead, but it's still so much time remaining. It's still 6 minutes remaining, and once they step on to C, my score timer that shows 220 is also going to be extended. I come around the corner, AP loaded. The hope is here, catching the Ibuki popping out here, so I can AP Citadel him with reload booster and pick him up as a quick kill. However, Ibuki is smarter than that. He's already angled away. So I shoot some AP, but I see the way he's angled, and there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to secure this kill. Now I'm also spotted, so his entire team knows exactly where I am. I switch to HE for some last final volleys, get a fire on him, but he's just straight up angling away, kiting away, disengaging, dropping torps. It's actually smart play, because he doesn't really need to kill me because they're about to secure C. He's playing much smarter than any of my teammates have so far. So at this point I know Udaloy will be stepping onto C, guaranteed at this point. I have to gamble for it, because if I kite away now, it looks like a win for me in 1 minute 40, but if I kite away and Udaloy steps onto C, I'm going to struggle to push back into the cap, because both the Ibuki and the Alsace will be waiting for me at the cap. So it's not really an option. I have to commit to this objective. It's the only strategically sound option I have. So I push in, turning my guns preemptively, and Ibuki is still angled and still kiting away. I drop a preemptive set of torps, only one though, This torpedo set is actually pretty important. It is to prevent him from making a hard turn to the left. I assume he might be running hydro, or might be popping it soon, so he sees these torps, he doesn't want to turn to the left, because I want to push him out of the objective. If I can push this Ibuki out of the objective, it opens up another victory condition for me. And that victory condition is actually securing A by bullying him out of the objective. I break his torpedo tubes, always good. He's only using his back guns, but he's turning the rest of them. But those torpedoes will hopefully zone him out of the objective. So, the plane is keeping me spotted, but I've forced him out, and I am securing the objective. However, Alsace renders on the minimap, I instantly full stop, and I start reversing. The idea here is trying to accelerate Duke that volley of HE. I do get reset, I do get hit, but he's so far away. As long as the planes don't spot me, I damage con the fire, because I haven't been shooting for a while, and I actually managed to get undetected. I drop preemptive sets of torps in case the Alsace turns in. Those were the left side torpedoes. Meanwhile, the Udaloy has gone down south, and he has secured C. Only, so they are clawing back the points, but because I'm stepping in A, we still have the points lead. So here I'm going for a pretty, actually, superbly risky plan. If I disengage, if I run away north, there's still a chance that the Ibuki might step onto the cap. There's also a chance this Udaloy who's secured, he's probably already speed boosting towards B. So running away isn't actually a guaranteed win, even if I secure the objective, because the Ibuki can just go right back into the cap, and the Udaloy might make it into B to stop our points gain, because there's still 5 minutes remaining, which is a really, really long time. So at this point I go for what I see as really the only win condition. My right side torpedo tubes, one of them has reloaded, the other is about to reload in 20 seconds. The cap is also going to be secured in 13 seconds. The idea here is I'm going to YOLO this Alsace, because I finally have him in a position where he's committed to hunt me down. So he realizes a bit too late, oh shit, this guy is actually going for me. I turn in to dodge his volley, and I manage to secure the objective. Note that killing his battleship will give us 40 points. That's important. So by securing the two caps, I will need to score 960 points, then kill him to instantly end the game. Because if I don't instantly end the game, the Ibuki and Udaloy might finish me off. So the tactic is here that these points should generate just enough points that I can reach 960 by the time the torpedoes actually catch up to this Alsace. We're at 950. His back turrets smash me. I said, make sure I land these torps. I'm willing to risk surviving one more volley. Udaloy is shooting me. Ibuki has pushed up here. He's shooting me. 960 points are scored. I take some HE hits. I pop my damage con to make sure no fires can tick and actually kill me. And I turn in steeply to the right to dodge any incoming bullets. And with 243 health left, the torpedoes pick up the Alsace and turns this game into a win for our team, because we score out on 1,000 points. So that was a example of basically the versatility of the Mogador and how much thought often goes into a lot of the moves that you make to try to secure the team, secure the win for your team. And ranked, sadly, is an experience of just having to deal with a lot of really questionable teammates. That's really what it is. Can you show the Mogador build? Sure, I can start up. I'll start up the EU client real fast so I can show it. People get so mad if I post anything and then I don't show the build, so I'll show the build real fast. Didn't you get accused of cheating in that replay? Yeah, after that replay, the Yugumo player that had gone down called me a hacker because, well, I won the game for my team. But ultimately, there's no real... Everything I did was just it was just logical conclusions to the best way to win the game. That was basically every move that game was just repositioning and predictions based on the logical solutions. Does the French saturation help you there? Absolutely. But I mean, cheating accusations, I always consider them a like kind of a badge of honor or whatever. Let's see. I don't think it was actually this account I played Mogador on, I don't think it was actually this account I played. I think it was on the other account, but it's fun. I can still show, let's see. Obviously, if you have Honor, you want to be running Honor. Equipment-wise, turret traverse, or sorry, turret survival, speed boost duration. You saw how much value I got out of my speed boost. George's Itmas, thank you for the sub. Better dispersion. Note, if you run better dispersion on your guns, you have to run better turret traverse. Preferably, you have to run Honor with better turret traverse. Because the turrets on the ship are very slow, and you saw how many times I would preemptively turn my guns before I even engaged, and that's because you basically have cruiser turret traverse on these ships, and you need to prepare for it. Acceleration mod, very valuable. Well, multiple times, as you could see that last game. Concealment and faster reload on the main guns. Captain build-wise, ideally if you have a 21 points, I'll show the full 21 points, but I'll show the order of importance. Preventive maintenance, last stand, health, don't be the Yugumo, pick health, concealment. After this point, I build AR, especially with French saturation, super powerful. After which you really want to be picking up Grease the Gears as soon as possible. It makes your life so much more comfortable, and you also want to get Fearless Brawler ASAP, because basically every time you're spotted you get 10% better reload. So this just fits your build extremely well. If you have 21 points, let's see, what do I normally build as 21 points? I would assume priority target, and last point potentially into gun feeder. Filmus, thank you for 35. Am I running gun feeder? I might be running gun feeder as the last one. But this roughly looks like my tryhard build. This looks like my tryhard build. I assume the last point goes into gun feeder. Alternatively, if you just have 19-point captain, then you spec into incoming fire alert. It's kind of like a not as good as priority target if you ask me, but it's always useful information to have. Same on Kleber, yeah, basically run the same on Kleber. Note that you can run the full gun builds where you skip concealment and go for firepower, range, and all this. But I think concealment gives you the ambush opportunity, and I just find it so useful because these ships are fantastic ambush ships, fantastic YOLO ships because of the torpedo angles. But yeah, that was an example of what I thought was a well played game, because I didn't feel like I made any significant mistakes, and it was mostly just trying to make up for vulnerabilities created by my teammates' actions. Basically, I played the left side, I played the right side, I went into their spawn, and then I was back on the cap again where I started, and but it did turn out to be a win. So now we can do Pyro. I don't really like Pyro. Even though the fire chance isn't that bad on fast-firing ships like this, your base fire chance is actually quite high, so the actual benefit you get is very small. Also, you want to be shooting AP at broadsides, and when you're shooting HE, it's mostly against DDs or super. I don't think the fire chance is really that good. I think it's a wasted point. At what tier do French DDs get good? Tier 7 Vaquilin is already quite good. I think I have a commentary on it. The tier 8 is very good already, and tier 9 is excellent, and Kleber is excellent.